This is a turned treen candlestick. It's likely to be walnut. It's difficult to be exactly sure. There's not much that we can see from the grain to positively 100% identify it as walnut. And it's also been stained and coloured. If we come in a little bit closer, you can see it was once ebonized. In these little indentations here and underneath, you might just see that there's remains of the black ebony finish to it. But that's worn quite nicely through use and handling and given the candlestick quite a nice variation in its colour. So we deal in travel items. What's this candlestick got to do with travel items? Well, the column unscrews from the base. And you could argue that's purely constructional. Some domestic candlesticks were certainly made this way. It's the most practical way of fitting the base to the candlestick to have a thread. So that doesn't necessarily point to it being travel, but it does more than just unthread from the base. We all like something which is not quite what it seems, and this candlestick is certainly that. If we look to the bulbous section here of the candlestick, you can see that there's a hole there. If we unscrew the top section of the candlestick and then screw it into this bulbous section, we can see that the candlestick can be used in one of two ways. It can be stood on a table, or using this brass hanging ring that you might have heard, it can be hung on a wall like that. So the fact that it can be used in two ways is also more likely to be an indicator that it was made for travel, that it had that versatility to adapt to the best whichever situation you're in, for use on a table or on a wall. And if we completely dismantle it, we can see that it breaks down to really quite a small size, which would be much easier for packing. So there you go. But it's a treen candlestick, likely to be walnut, stained walnut, later ebonized. Most of the ebony faded off or worn off, and round about 1840 in date. Yeah.